Hey guys, I want to show you my super budget shelf system I just built. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for. It could go into my son's room for toys, it could go into the garage for tools, I could use it as a shoe rack. I'm not certain, but this thing literally cost me like $8. Yeah, about like $8.50 maybe, and took about 20 minutes to make. And you can make this very, very simply. I mean, you literally can do this in no time, even if you have no experience with tools or even any kind of a shop. It's just very, very simple. Now, first of all, what I found was I was in Home Depot, and they had these, I think they're like 12 by 2, they're like a 12 by 24 by 1 planks, and they're really cheap because as you can see they got like all kinds of problems with them, and they were like $1 something a piece. And then they had these longer planks which are like a 1 by 10 by 4, which were also cheap. They were like 2 something a piece, and they were just very warped. You looked at them, you could tell they were kind of twisted, kind of warped, nothing you'd want to use for a good project. So I picked up a couple of them and thought, well, this will make a really good super budget shelf. And one thing you have to bear in mind, guys, if you don't have tools, you can get Home Depot to cut these for you to length. And I just basically brought these home, ganged them up together, and cut them just so the edges were square and that they were the same size. So I didn't measure. I didn't do anything. All I did was just clamp the boards together and cut the ends. I took like 1 inch off each end just to make sure they were the same and, you know, flush and everything. As you can see, I cut a little, you know, kind of end into this just to give it a little more of a design so it didn't look so squared off. You don't have to do that. I just did it, you know, did it on the miter saw, no big deal. And putting this thing together is super easy, guys. All you need is literally a countersink bit and a driver bit. You don't need 2 separate drills, you can just have 1. So what I did was just went along, and how I lined this up, guys, because I believe in doing things the easy way. You don't need to go and measure and clamp and do all these things. You know, you're going to look at websites and stuff like that on how to build things, and they're going to tell you really crazy things. You know what I literally did? I took a couple of soup cans, set them on the ground, put that bottom shelf on top of it. Lined up one edge, used my countersink bit, drilled the holes, used the driver, drilled in a couple of screws. I also added wood glue, just to give it a little extra strength. So then I had my basis, flipped it around. I did the same exact thing on the other side. It literally, no measuring, nothing, just a couple of soup cans literally spacing the bottom shelf up from the bottom. And then the other thing I did was I did space. As you can see, this is recessed in a little bit. I did space it with just a little scrap piece of that, but if you don't have scrap wood, you can use a book. You can use anything, you know, doesn't matter. As long as you can find something that you can put in there to space it with. And I just recessed it a little bit, just to give it a little nicer look. So as you can see, then I just countersunk and pre-drilled. Drove in some screws. You know, I wood glued the whole thing together, and bada bing. Took me 20 minutes, and that was probably way too long. You could probably put this together a lot quicker. You know, of course, after I got the bottom shelf in, I took those soup cans, put them on top of the shelf, and put the second shelf in. So they're the same spacing, they're the same, you know, kind of setup. So literally it came out really nice. It's really, actually, you know, I checked it with a level. It's nice and square and level, surprisingly. And, you know, if you don't have any tools, and all you really need is just 1 drill, you know, and the countersink bit and all that, and you can be in business and you can make stuff like this for $8 like I did. This is just really simple and really easy. And, you know, you just see all these woodworking plans on the internet where they have you doing all these crazy joints and all that, and, you know, and all this extra measuring and cutting and, you know, using a table saw. It's like, no, guys, just use what you have available. You know, it's cheap. You know, use it as a way. You know, as you can see, we have these recessed a little bit. That gives us a little kind of room there. You know, but it saved me having to hit it with the table saw. Now, if you're going to put anything heavy on these things, I highly recommend making yourself a couple of braces, you know, for the metal. You know, just use this like 1x4, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut these and just jam them in there. You know, maybe glue them. And those will make some braces so that if I put anything heavy on there, or my son sits on it or something like that, if it ends up in his room, it will be well supported. But you can see it's just glued and screwed. $20 or $8 project, 20 minutes. And if I really want to, I could add like a 1x6 shelf here on the top and make this a 3-layer with just another $2 piece of wood. So there you go, guys. Simple, easy. You don't need a lot of tools. You don't need a lot of knowledge. You know, you can wing it. This stuff isn't rocket science.